Hello there, right here we got a brand new 1.19 snapshot for the wild update. With it comes changes to goat horns, allays, and wardens, with wardens now dropping an item when killed. And at the end of the video, I break down every little segment of the brand new Disc 5 and explain how it relates to this big portal being lit and a new dimension being added into the game. Less than 30% of you guys have hit that little red button, and while you're at it, hit the like button, as these are the easiest and best ways to support me. First up, we'll take a look at all the new additions to 1.19. Guys, the new goat horn got added in for the Java edition. If you right click, you can play them. There's a cooldown, just like the ones in Bedrock edition. And the way you acquire the goat horn is if the goat rams a hard block. You can see this guy now only has one horn. Hard blocks include logs, stone, packed ice, iron ore, copper ore, emerald ore, all blocks that are natural to where the goats spawn in. And every time they hit it, they will drop one horn, and they can drop 2 horns in total. The horns are specific to the type of goat. So this one dropped the dream horn. There's currently 8 different types of horn, 4 of which come only exclusively from the screaming goats. And we don't have the copper horns like Bedrock Edition yet. You also can sometimes find the horn when looting the chest here at the pillager outpost, which does make sense because the pillagers and raids play like a horn-like noise when they attack villagers. When playing the horn, it can be heard by other players really far away. And the horns are currently here in the combat section of the creative menu, so maybe they will be used in some sort of combat. I think this is a bug, but right over top of the spot where you normally can delete items from your inventory, there's actually a goat horn. Let's see if we can pick it up. No, it looks like we can't move it. That's kind of strange. I did design this goat farm here as part of my Farm Everything series, where I'm trying to farm up every single item in the game of Minecraft. But I will need to tweak it so they will drop their horns from it. Just like in Bedrock Edition, we now have the visual sound coming out of the note blocks and going to the allays, so you know which ones they are kind of connected to. They also re-added it so we can now once again block allays from hearing note blocks just by placing some wool around them. This will be great, allowing us to put in allays right next to each other, which I covered in more detail in this video here, so we can make super compact item sorters. They also changed it so the shields can no longer block the Warden's sonic attack. You can see we still get dealt damage, but the damage has been reduced from 30 damage to 10. And the attacks have been changed from 5 seconds delay between them to only 2 seconds. And you also now get a unique death message when you die from the Warden sonic attack. Rays was obliterated by the sonically charged shriek, which does give us some insight that the things that are coming out of the Warden are shrieks, probably from the soul faces that we see in the chest of the Warden. And if you would actually kill the Warden, it's going to drop you some XPs, but now it drops a brand new item, and that is the Skulk Catalyst. Now in the past I designed this farm here, which actually produces the Skulk blocks, the Skulk veins, the Skulk shriekers, as well as Skulk sensors, but there was no way to actually obtain the catalyst block, which kind of is needed in order to get the whole farm going. But at that time I also designed this Warden farm here, but now that the Warden will produce the catalyst, we can actually get all the different types of Skulk blocks as a renewable resource in the game. That will need some tweaking in order for the Warden to die and also be killed as player means. So I'll be working on that during my Twitch live streams. Found this ancient city that has actually 2 portals. I got one portal over there and one portal over here. This one's really strange. It actually has a geode that is cutting into it partially. It's trying to go into the same spot where the redstone room is at, but it looks like some blocks of it cannot be replaced. We also got a brand new thing coming to the game. This is secure chat signing for multiplayer. So when you are talking with each other through Minecraft in multiplayer, the messages will be securely cryptographically signed by you and then be sent to the other player. This can be used to prevent players who don't have a Mojang signed public key from connecting, but by default this will be turned off. We also got some more discrete changes added to the game. It was previously possible to actually put armor onto an allay. This cool trick is no longer possible. They now have it so the allay will no longer get confused if there's note blocks in a different dimension. So it will now drop the players their items rather than trying to find a note block in a different dimension. It was possible for the allay to accidentally pick up piles, which it really did pick up. Now you'll be able to see which piles it has and hasn't picked up. Skulk sensors can detect stuff falling like minecarts, and now it can also detect boats dropping. Walking on wool would make you silent to skulk sensors, but now they also added riding in boats being the same way. They also added projectiles being silent to skulk sensors when hitting wool. Skulk was being sneaky and creeping outside the world border, which you no longer have to worry about. Despite soul sand and mud being natural blocks, the game wasn't actually converting that over into skulk stuff when mobs would die on top of it, and now it will convert it. The skulk is supposed to be able to take over the ancient city, but some blocks that it's made up of weren't able to be converted over, and now they will be. This spreading was having some negative effects, like putting out the fires, which are supposed to be part of the structure. Skulls and other similar blocks will no longer float in ancient cities. You may recall this one pillar by the new portal is having its water come out the side, which is now resolved. Ores will once again drop XPs when blown up with TNT. Z-fighting is when two different textures both try to show up on top of each other, which was occurring in cats and dogs, in clerics, and on the frog, which has been cleaned up. Some pixels were miscolored on villager zombies, the leather cap, the llama's chest, the villager body, iron golems, on the half-piece armor, vindicator arms, and the tadpole texture. They also came in and changed the height of this lower bar for the item so it matches the real block in game. The pixels within the mangrove were a little bit wonky. You might have seen these rendering errors, which was caused by having different items in the chunk. They fixed those as well as the player rendering differently. Item frames were also acting differently in multiplayer. They also reworked the brewing stand so that it's similar to the Bedrock edition. The narrator will also narrate unusual text better, and teleporting armor stands will no longer visually desync. They also resolved an error which would occur when you would search for a stronghold in a singles biome world. Flying and water mobs were causing crashes when they were pathfinding. This was a problem I was having in my testing world. There was some confusion in my last video at how this music disc was related to this big portal, as well as hinting at a new fourth dimension. So let's break this all down. Some really fascinating insight into the new music disc and how it relates to the deep dark as well as the ancient city, which includes this crazy portal here. And yes, this is actually a portal based off of everything I explained in this video here, which I'll have linked down below, where I point out that in the Minecraft code, this structure is named portal. And we look at the reinforced deep slate and how it has similar properties to that of the end portal frames, and other secret Easter eggs that point to this being an actual portal. On top of that, I also pointed out that there is a lot of evidence pointing that there is going to be a fourth dimension, with the excessive reference to 4 in the Minecraft live trailer, as well as many other things which I covered in this video, also linked below. With so much pointing to a new dimension, what type of features do you think should be in this new type of world? We got the overworld, we got the end dimension, which is like the sky, and we also got the hell dimension, which is the nether. So what crazy stuff might this fourth dimension have? Now that you understand that this is a portal and there might be a fourth dimension, we can start thinking about what exactly Disc 5 is telling us. I went ahead and broke down the entirety of the disc with the text on screen so not to interrupt the music from the disc, and I found out some really unsettling things. There's a lot of similarities between this new number 5 disc and number 13 as well as 11. They all have the players in creepy areas and typically running away from something. King B Dogs posted saying 11, 13, ... 5. So maybe this isn't the order which you're supposed to listen to them, like the chronicle order. It does seem like the past disc did have references to the Enderman, where the new one has reference to the Warden and possibly even a new mob which is on the other side of this portal, as well as a new dimension. So the disc itself might give us some insight on how to light this portal to get into the other side. We also played all 3 of these at the exact same time, which can be done, but it doesn't produce any new story or lore. The discs are also different lengths, so they don't really line up when you play them all at once. We also put the audio through a spectrogram, which has been used in the past disc to come up with different images like the creeper face or the Steve face, as well as numbers. Now I couldn't really find anything in it, but some guys thought they seen something in this image here, maybe it's like a number 5. Let me know what you guys find. We also played the entire disc backwards, and there was only a couple parts that kind of sound reasonable backwards, but nothing groundbreaking was found. What do you think this all means? Now check out this playlist covering everything we know about 1.19 so far. Or this playlist on my new series where I removed 99% of all blocks in the game. We're so close to 43,000 followers on Twitch, so hop on over there with the link down below and click that follow button. It's always fun hanging out with everyone over there. Remember to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!